You're listening to the ADHD Support Talk Radio podcast. ADHD Support Talk Radio is sponsored by ADDclasses.com. Sign up now for a free webinar by going to www.addclasses.com. This is your co-host, Tara McGillicuddy, and today I am back to talk to you about ADHD medication. And ADHD medication is a bit of a controversial topic. And for the most part, I stay away from discussing this topic because at ADD Classes and on the podcast, we're more focused on skills, tips, and strategies. But I know ADHD medication is extremely important for anyone who has ADHD, thinks they have ADHD, or is a parent of somebody with ADHD, loves somebody with ADHD. Even if you have chosen not to use or take ADHD medication, it's still important. It's still something that I'm sure if you were diagnosed with ADHD or are just self-diagnosed, that medication has come up as a topic. And one of the reasons I don't discuss it or I stay away from it is, number one, I am not a trained medical professional. And my belief, my take is that medication, I've seen trained people who are just ADHD coaches or even mental health professionals talk way too much about medication and ADHD, and they don't have the medical training. And I know as a coach, I educated myself highly on ADHD medication or when I first started learning about ADHD. It's a fine line. And other coaches, other ADHD experts don't have the same beliefs as I do when it comes to ADHD medication, and I accept that. But my take on it is I am not a trained medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I'm not a nurse practitioner. So that's one of the reasons I stay away from it. Also, my belief is it's such a personal choice. Whether you take medication for yourself or if you're a parent, if your child or teen takes ADHD medication. And again, my belief is it's nobody's business if you or your child takes ADHD medication. And when people ask me, I'll tell them that straight out. And depending on what the situation, I might not be nice about it because it's nobody's business. And I've said this before on different podcast episodes. It's nobody's business, like how I treat my allergies. If I treat my allergies, what type of medication I take to treat my allergies, that's my own private choice. That's my own. That's privacy. That's very private to me. And that's my belief to everyone else, that it's nobody's business if you take ADHD medication, and it's a personal choice. Everybody's different. Everybody's perception is different. Everybody's environment, their life choices. We all have so many differences in our lives that it's a personal choice. But with that said, like I said in the beginning, I know that medication is a hot topic, that people want to understand, have a better understanding about ADHD medication, whether or not they're taking it, even if you take it or don't take it, or, whatever your choice is. And every time I do a webinar or Q&A session at addclasses.com, we always get questions about ADHD medications. And I did one last summer with Linda Hilger, and we put right on the form that we are not able to answer questions about medication because we're not trained medical professionals. And we still have people asking questions about medication. I think some of them just did it because we told them not to and they want to see our reaction. But it's such a hot topic. So I would like to let you know about an ADHD medication resource. It's called ADHD Medication Answers, and it's a 5-week online program with Laurie Dupar. Laurie Dupar is a psychiatric nurse practitioner, ADHD expert. She trains people to be ADHD coaches. I've heard her speak about medication and ADHD multiple times. So this, in my opinion, is an excellent resource. It is a $200 investment, or $197, and there's a payment plan. You can learn more about it by going to addclasses.com/meds. That's addclasses.com/MEDS. And I am an affiliate, so I will get, I think, like $20 if you sign up using my link. But I've been involved in the ADHD community for over 20 years. And I've had clients, I've heard from people that just struggle with ADHD medication. They go on medication because they were diagnosed with ADHD, and that's what the doctor recommended. And the way our medical system is set up, especially here in the United States, I know people are listening from Canada and other countries, but here in the United States, what usually happens is somebody gets prescribed medication by a regular family doctor or a psychiatrist, nurse practitioner, neurologist, whatever the title is. And that person, the prescriber, usually spends about 15 minutes with the person. And that's really not enough time. So even if the person is a true ADHD expert or has an understanding about ADHD medication, that 15 minutes is usually not enough time to be with the person they're prescribing, to let them know the side effects and how to use medication, understand if it's working or not. So I have seen so many people over the past 20 or so years struggle, and the time and energy they put into finding the right doctor, finding the right medication, or just getting frustrated because the medication isn't working, or they don't know who to believe, what to believe. And I gotta tell you, if you add all that up and put a cost on it, it's probably tens of $1,000s, if not more. So this, if you're struggling with medication, you want to learn more about medication, I'd say this is a great investment. And it's a 5-week course that begins on March 3rd, and you get all the recordings and you can ask questions. And Laurie is an ADHD expert, and she has that training as a psychiatric nurse practitioner, where I think that's not something you see every day, someone who has that expertise in both those fields, in both those areas. So addclasses.com/MEDS, addclasses.com/meds. And like I said, I usually stay away from the medication topic just because of all the controversy, and I'm not a medical professional. And like I said, I focus on skills and strategies. And there are people like Laurie Dupar who have the expertise in medication. So addclasses.com/meds if you want to learn more about medication and you're ready to make an investment in the program. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this ADHD Support Talk Radio podcast. And Lynne and I will be back soon with new episodes, more guests, more topics. Thanks again for listening. This is Tara McGillicuddy.